How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm very well blessed. Good to be with you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, many blessings to you. Yes, thank you so much, John.
You and to you, love. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. But before I do get started, I want to introduce myself and my platform. My name is Chastity Buckley. I'm the host of Midnight R&B Edition, Homage the Midnight Love BET, where I give all my flowers and everything to all my R&B artists,
Thank
songwriters, producers, and everybody that has changed the game R&B for everything
you.
that has happened. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But before I do get started, I need to introduce you, the 26-year R&B legend, singer, songwriter, producer, and multi-instrumentalist, the one and only Mr. John B. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure to
Yes,
be with you. Yeah, man. 20,
yes.
20 some years, man. It's amazing, man.
Woo!
Doing what I love is a beautiful thing,
Yes.
Real thought,
You almost at that 30-year mark.
The beautiful thing every year is to be celebrated.
Oh,
It's a
yes.
milestone every year, and just to know that people are we're connected in this musical way is just
Yes.
a thing. It's something to live up to too with every album. So yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Congratulations. That's what we're here today to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Pleasures You Like, your third album. Oh my gosh.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Woo!
You know, I was telling my mother this morning, I can't believe it's been 20 years. That's nuts. And she like, what? She was shocked. We're trying to put that together. It's like it doesn't seem like
Oh,
it's been that long, but it really has. So
yeah,
yeah, it's a
yeah,
beautiful thing.
definitely. I'm so happy. I've been learning about you since the age of 7. I actually followed your career since I was 7 years old. Yes, and
Is
you
that
have
right?
really. Yes,
Oh,
I did. I actually, the first time I heard about you was I was actually 7 years old and I was watching The Box. And I was like, okay, I'm just curious. Just want to watch, music videos. I love, R&B. I mean, Brandy's one of my favorite artists, and I just,
yeah.
love all the R&B artists that really changed the game in R&B. And I remember coming across this video, and I seen "They Don't Know" the melody drop, and I was like, wait a minute, who is this? And it just really just changed my life. And it changed my life. And ever since then, I saw you on Sister Sister singing the song. It was just beautiful. So for
Yeah.
me, you really have really changed the
Thank
game in
you.
R&B and everything so much. But before we do get started, I want to actually play a game with you. You
Okay.
want to play a game? Okay.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it.
All right, I got you. So the game today is going to be Pleasures of John B. So what we're going to do, John, is we're going to just actually, talk about a this or that type of scenario. Well, either one thing or the other, and I want you to either pick one of them. You can't pick both, but you got to pick one. So it's something about people that have dealt with in your career, any music or anything else. So you ready to play this little game with me and see what I got for you in store?
I, let's go. Let's do it. I ain't scared. I'm
Oh,
scared.
oh, okay, all right. Okay, so the first thing is what we're gonna say is it "They Don't Know" or "Someone to Love"?
Oh yeah, it's dang, that's crazy. That's a hard because for two different reasons. You know what I mean? One's with my
Mm-hmm.
hero. Musically, the guy who got me started, and I owe so much to.
Yeah,
But at the same time, the other song is the song that sort of like really I feel like got my point across as an artist that I've always been trying to make.
yeah.
And I'm, if you can do one of those one time in your life, you're blessed, and that's that song for me. They don't know,
Oh,
that was a song I wrote. So it's a little different when it's something that you penned yourself. And then, but then again, comparing it to singing on the record with your, basically your mentor,
yeah.
is, is pretty equally special. So, but I will say, if I had to sing one song for the rest of my life and not sing the other one, it would be that. It would.
Oh, I told you that's the one that caught my heartstrings. Is actually, and to be honest with you, I didn't learn about Bonafide till 2012. So it was
Really?
really, yeah, it was
Yeah,
seriously, it was really
that's
weird.
cool.
It kind of flipped on me when Whitney Houston passed. It was
Mm,
actually your song had popped up on my time feed, and I was like, "What is this? Someone to Love." And when I heard that, I was like, "When did this album come out?" And when I found out in 1995, I was so upset, and I was like, "John B, you've been out since '95." I was crushed, but what I did was
that's
I
a
went
cool
back.
surprise, though. That's a cool
Yeah,
thing to find out,
yeah.
And a lot of people don't know about the later albums I put on, out after, this album, Pleasures You Like. I continue to put records out. Put like what, like 4 or 5, maybe 3 more records out. Is that three, four? Something like but I haven't stopped. You know what I mean? I'm planning on putting a new record out soon. So yeah, it's one of those things where I do it because I love it. I do, you know, I
Yeah.
write songs and I produce, make beats, and play, you know, the keyboard and play drums and sing because I love music and I love making music. And I just feel like this journey that we've taken together has lasted this long. We might as well continue the journey. And you know,
Right.
for everyone who's in with me, man, it's a beautiful thing to know that there's people out there that are listening with open ears and know. And yeah, it's just it's something though to live up to because I want to do my best with every single album. I don't want to hold back or just try to satisfy the moment. It's more like, can I live with this for the rest of my life and be good with this, you know,
Yeah.
and let it like sit next to the other albums. You know what I mean? In comparison, yeah. So it's a process, but it's all worth it though. And you guys
Oh.
definitely, I hope that you guys love this new album because definitely putting my all into it. You know,
Oh,
because
you know
I
I'm ready for
have
that
to.
new.
You know.
You know I'm ready for that new John B. You know I've been ready since seven. So every time you come out with a classic, it's be popping. So I'm just really
Thank you,
excited.
man. Thank
So
you.
thank you so much. So now the next one I want to do is,
Mm-hmm.
do you like being a musician or being a producer?
Ooh, I like being a musician first because you know a producer can play a lot of different roles. He doesn't have to necessarily be the musician. Um, and I like that. I like that role of of being able to like work with other musicians as well.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick one, playing the instruments, that's my deal. You know, I sit
Yeah.
down at the drums, I play the drums, I sit down at the keyboard, I play the keyboard, I sound out my chords, I sound out my melodies in my head or out loud, and it's always been a musical process for me making the
Yeah.
song. Crafting the songs is really the love of me. It's almost like 95% of what I love about music is crafting the songs and paying attention to the way others have done it over the years has been the real gift. Is really to kind of like dissect what they did after. Say, how did they play that chord and try to sound it out on the piano? You know what I mean? Or how'd they make that beat? You know, what sounds were those? You know, and try to find those same sounds. You know, and just really, you always have a template. If you're trying to be good at something, I think all the greats really have always started with a mentor or someone that really kind of helped them put the pinpoint on what they really want to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So,
Right. And
yeah.
you're dope with the drums and everything. So I just be dope, and then the
Oh,
way you play the
appreciate
piano is just so beautiful. It's
Thank you.
just like it's just like a melody to me. So I just love it. But thank you so much for that. So next I have, this might be a little hard for you. I don't know if you're gonna like
Mm.
this, John, but just bear with me. You say you can handle it, okay? So
All right.
the next one I got is Michael Jackson or
Ooh.
Babyface.
Ooh. Well, we got to give it to Michael Jackson for sure. Michael Jackson came first. You know what I mean? Michael
Yeah.
Jackson is the essence of soul for me. It's like
Yeah.
when I think of rhythm and melody and no limitations in terms of like a personality that could just go everywhere, in terms of like the songs like that he sang talked about more than just love. It talked about like world events, like Man in the Mirror was such an amazing song. Like he was really more of like a world artist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
By all means, like an all around sort of like a real anomaly. You know what I mean? No one, no,
Mm-hmm.
no one could ever really follow in those same footsteps in this, unless you start making those kind of bold moves like Mike was making when he wrote a record like Human Nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With that type of sensitivity of Can't Help It, or you know, there's just so much sensitivity in Mike. I don't think anybody beats that sensitivity and that heartfelt. I mean, when you see the movie Captain EO, you can you can feel it. I mean, every little thing that Mike ever did was so cinematic and big and just mass. For me as a young man, seeing that, seeing the whole Michael Jackson uh, presentation, man,
Yeah.
it was kind of like watching a real life superhero that you always wanted to meet. Like a real Superman type of character, but that you knew was a real life person. And I can remember the first time I met Michael Jackson was in Britain, in London, at the Brit Awards, and we were both managed for a period of about maybe 2 or 3 years. I was managed by Gallen and Morey, the same management firm that managed Michael Jackson. So
Mm-hmm.
I was able to get in backstage and meet Mike, and it was a trip. It was a trip to shake the guy who basically made me want to start in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so young when Michael Jackson came out with Billie Jean and all that. Um, and even before that, with like the Jackson Five, I used to watch the cartoons, and I loved the Jackson Five songs and all of that. So yeah, you know what I mean. Michael Jackson is the essence, is the starting point. So
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson all day. But big up
Michael
to
Jackson.
the man who got me started, of course, Babyface. You already know. So
Yes. Yes, I think they're definitely both, and they definitely play a lot of instrumental keys in your life. And I
yeah.
know for me, when I listen to "Pleasure You Like," the one song that really thinks of Michael Jackson S to me is "Lonely Girl." Oh my God, "Lonely Girl," you
Ooh.
sound just like Michael. I was like, he sounds like Michael.
Yeah, but
But you got.
you know what? Equally though, I will say when we talk about sounding like people, and the
Mm-hmm.
influence, I wouldn't be nothing without Babyface. I mean, honestly,
There you go.
it's when you talk about sensitive, when I was talking about sensitivity, after Michael Jackson, later on in my life, in my high school years, early high school years, that's when I discovered Babyface, and Babyface was the next level, for me, of another personality, another superhero kind of character, but it was. But he was real too, and he made all
Yeah.
these amazing tracks. It's like, who produced Bobby Brown? Oh, who wrote that song? He did. Oh man, so this guy is the
Mm-hmm.
truth. So I'm studying him like on every hit record that comes out, right, in high school. So yeah, and then vocally, I was always sort of like really partial to that sensitive kind of sound, that kind of the baby faces kind of tone, right? And so like I
Mm-hmm.
would try to sing like that in high school immediately. And so like when you hear me singing in those kind of textures, that's because I've sang like that for years. And it started with Michael Jackson, but then it continued with Babyface.
Yeah.
And I think I zeroed in on Babyface as being like the main mentor of all. Some people could really put Prince in that same category as well, because Prince um, is one of those creative entities. Is just like, man,
Yeah.
he showed us so much. No limitations creatively, lyrically. Don't be limited. Just say what you want to say.
Yeah.
And fit into no boxes. But at the same time, I just feel like, yeah, man, it's Babyface all day. Like when it comes to like vocal influence, his texture, all of that is, man, it's so good to learn how to stack my vocals and
Mm-hmm.
learn the production elements that I've learned from Babyface just by being able to, have the pleasure of working next to him, and taking his advice, like, hey, should I stack that note like 2 or 3 times? And he's like, oh, why don't you stack it like 4 times and see how it feels? Oh, okay, 4 times. And then we get to the fourth time, he's like, you know what? Let's do four more. Do four more on that same note. Like eight of the same note. All right, man. And then you got this, oh man, and that's someone to love right there. Like then
Mm-hmm.
when you hear those hooks, it's so big because we use probably like 24 tracks on the vocals, man, and it's got his pad of vocals, like all his stacks of his harmony, and then it's got all mine. So it's like a choir of voices you hear on that hook. It's amazing, that song. I
It's
always love
be- it's beautiful. I definitely love when people stack, because I think for me, stacking, it's not that you hear like one voice, but you hear multiple voices, but it's the same person. You know what I'm saying? So
it. Yeah,
because you and Babyface were really on the track together, I kind of heard you, and then I kind of heard him, but at the same time, it's just
yeah.
like,
Well,
who
no,
is
what we
it? But
talk about, man, that always scared me too, because I told him, I was like, man, I sound real close to you, because when I first sang it for him, like,
yeah,
he played it for me. He showed me the of how it went and everything before we recorded it, so I knew how he wanted me to sing it. But
mm-hmm.
I started singing it like, don't even like to think about it. I didn't put like the sensitive flow on it. I was more like filled out. I was like, a little thicker of a sound, like, don't even like to think about it. And he was like, no, 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 no. No, you need to make it sweet, like super, super, like sensitive, right? I was like how? And he's like, don't even like to think about. And I was like, okay, to take all the bass out of my voice, right, and just do it smooth. And that's what you hear is me appeasing Babyface to what his production elements are. And that's what a beautiful thing about a producer is that, especially a producer who can sing, who has a style trying to bring, like he will produce you as if he was producing himself. Like
Yeah.
with all the inflections and all the no, I need this to be a little airy right here. Or give me this one real like give me some attitude on this one. You know what I mean? Put the funk on this one. You know what I mean? Oh, this one's super, super light. Or now you could fill out and give me them runs. You know what I mean? Now put the runs on. You know, and it's like he knew how to pull the perfect things out of you right at the perfect times in the song. So that's another production quality that I just really paid attention to. That I've always tried to keep that alive in my music, even if I
Yeah.
wasn't working with him. It's not that you have to stack on every song, but when you do stack, one thing I know that Kenny doesn't do is loose stacks. Like where you
Mm.
just where you just sing the note again and it's kind of like chorusing and like doing that little thing that sounds like two people singing it. No, 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 no. He only doubles to like he'll only like triple to like a perfect note. So like if the first take is perfect, you got to make that second take perfect. If the second take is perfect, the third take got to be perfect. Before you don't move on until every layer is there, and that's I think what you hear in terms of the quality of his production and the quality of the production that I've been a part of over the years that he's been so gracious to loan his production skills to my music. You know what I mean? On my albums, like Lonely Girl. That's another one that you mentioned. That's actually our last collaboration that we did. I'm lonely just thinking about that. I need I need some baby face back in my life, man. I need
Yes, we
that
need
vibes
that.
back. Where is that vibe? So yeah, man, that's all up in the. You got to put it out there in the universe and see how it, and see how what happens. But you know what? Let's celebrate what is and what was,
Right.
and you said Lonely Girl, so it just sparked the thought of like the horns and like getting in the studio with him and really penning a record solidly 50%, together, like kind of almost feeling like I came into my own at this point and like I'm sitting as an equal with him, in a different sense. Almost that he was giving me that opportunity to be that with him, which was so special, you know what I mean? And I think you really hear it in the record. It's like a very consoling record. It's something that
Yeah.
it'll make you feel good when you're feeling bad and when you're feeling like, oh man, if you don't have a man, especially, like I always wanted to make the woman that doesn't have a man feel special, and like I'm gonna sing this song especially for you, like
Yeah.
honestly, because I think you out of no, you out of anybody deserve to be, kind of catered to. If a guy's gonna sing a song to you, to to the people out there who need to hear a song. It should be y'all, right? I mean, and the people who are searching for their destiny, I feel like the song is sort of like something that you can find into. You're like, all right, I'm gonna turn this song on because it makes me feel a certain way, and if you get to play that role as an artist, it's a special thing, man. I mean, I've had people get in touch with me and be like, I need you to sing at my wedding, because this song, or I name my baby, a certain name, whatever, or we're celebrating every year with this song. We play this song, so just every story is so different and so special, but it all lets me know that the music is, kind of like more than just me writing the songs. It's an experience, man. So it keeps
Yeah,
me
and the music.
keeps me writing.
Definitely. And the music lives forever, just like you said. And I think that's beautiful how you do that. Shout out to my girl, LaShonda. She actually loves that song. I remember when we did our episode of Mary J. Blige, she shouted you out last year when we did that. So shout out to her. That's her favorite song. And that's how she was introduced to you. So shout out to her. And
Big
thank you for
shout,
that.
big shout, LaShawn.
Hey, okay. So I have two more for you. So I have two more. The next one is going to be, do you like songwriting or do you like singing?
Songwriting.
I knew it.
Songwriting all day. Because I can write a song, you know what I mean? I can write a song for, anybody. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing when you get the chance to write a song for like one of your heroes or something like that. Like getting to write a song for Luther Vandross was
Yeah.
insane for me.
Yeah. You talking about grown things? It's actually making 20 years in May. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you've done your research.
Mm.
That's what's up, love. I appreciate it. That's a lot of stuff
Anytime.
I might not
Anytime.
know. Yeah, but that was on a Grammy nominated, album. Or actually, I think it won a Grammy, that album. So yeah, yeah, man. Beautiful thing that you just you have such a love and for an artist, and then it comes full
Yeah.
circle with the opportunity to be able to get to work with them. It just is. There's no, as an artist, it's kind of like the most validating thing, I think. As a songwriter, as a producer, um,
Mhm.
that's what you want, stuff like that. Yeah. Opportunities like that. So I'm looking forward to doing more
Right.
for that. I want to work with everybody. So but I also
Yeah.
I really want to especially work with um, those who are curious to work with me. You know what I mean? Like I want to see what a
Mhm.
John. Like I recently got blessed with an opportunity that I didn't even expect. It just came out of nowhere. There's a very very famous group called Brockhampton that is kind of like a newer group that has come out over the years, and this bunch of guys that rap and sing, and they hit me up to be a part of their song Sugar, which was
Oh.
rele- uh, released. It was as a remix to the original, and it features me and Dua Lipa, which is Dua Lipa just did the Grammys. I'm sitting here with a Grammy,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting here, wow, like that's amazing. So if you haven't heard the song Sugar, the remix by Brockhampton, check it out with your boy on there, man. It's pretty
Yeah.
special to do something that's current right now, and all that. It's a beautiful thing,
Yes.
and it don't
Well,
stop.
definitely let us know because we definitely will support that. We support real R&B and definitely for sure. And anything that you have your hands or any production, we got you. I got you on my platform.
You're
Thank you so
gonna love
much for
this
that.
too. This Sugar remix is hot too. You're gonna like it. I think so. It's
Okay.
called Sugar Remix. It's called Sugar, the Remix by Brockhampton. Yeah, check it out.
Brockhampton. Okay, Sugar
Yeah.
Brockhampton. I got you. Let me know. DM me and let me know about that. So we got the last one, John B. This one is really gonna be tough. I don't know who you're gonna choose, but we're gonna see. So the last one I have is Tupac or Nas.
Woo. Well, I gotta go with my boy Pac because rest in peace, rest in power.
R.I.P.
Um, yeah, yeah, like that's legendary. Uh, Nas is legendary, but we still got Nas, so I still,
Yeah.
in terms of in the physical, in this physical realm that we're in, um, and it's a beautiful thing to think of doing music with him in the future because I love doing our song Finer Things that we have together.
Mm-hmm.
And that was such a pleasure working with him in the studio at my house, and but at the same time, it was also incredibly, like a groundbreaking type of thing. Also working with Tupac, if that record didn't come out and we didn't have that experience, I don't know that my career would have been the same. It definitely affected me in a major way, and
Yeah.
also just the song itself, getting to write that song with him in the studio, working with him in the studio. Uh, Now that he's not here, it's it seems so surreal, like a movie now when I think back to that experience.
Yeah.
When I hear the song, it all comes back. Of course, it's like it was a real moment. It happened, but we got a record through it, and that's what's so special about that. And so when I hear we just did 25 years now, we just celebrated 25 years of All Eyes on Me. So
Yes.
yeah, so I was amazed, just talking about all that, and hearing the stories that everybody shared on Clubhouse. We had a little get together, and Corrupt got on there, and a bunch of people from Death Row Days got on there, and we just started reminiscing about Tupac. Yeah, so that was sort of like my backyard. That was my guy. That was my brother from another mother. Rest in power, in peace. And
R.I.P.
I hope you're proud of me. You know what I mean? After all these years, just continuing to ride with with you by my side as my angel, because he truly
Yeah.
is like an angel. I believe that in my heart. He always has been. That's why I'm still here, baby. You know what I mean?
Yes, you are. 26
I'm
years later.
still
That
there.
is that is just so dope. And I'm gonna be honest with you, John. That is actually my me and my family from Louisiana's favorite song out of all Tupac songs. That's the number one song we play all the time.
Wow. You know,
Every year.
his mom is
Every
the
year.
reason why that song came out. You know, his mom,
Um,
Afeni blessed me with that because it was, you know, it had a lot of red tape when he passed. You know, when he passed
mm-hmm.
on. And his mom was like, no, he never played me his music because of the cussing and all that, but he played me that song. He was proud of that, so he wanted that song to come out, and he was excited about that. So
Yeah.
yeah, rest in peace. I love talking about. I never get tired talking about artists still down. Yeah, man. But big up
Favorite
Nas
song.
as well. Big up Nas as well, though. You know what I mean? Nas is the god, man. He's amazing. You know, and
Yeah.
I'm a huge Nas fan. So Finer Things will forever be like just. I can't believe that happened either.
You work with some icons. I mean, like I said, legends work with legends. And so for you to just be so groundbreaking back in 1995, people really showed that you really made your mark in R&B. And I love it. You know, like I said, since I was
Thank
7, I've been loving you since I was
you.
7 years old. So even though I was a little bit young, but it just go to show you that I was just really into real music and just real
Yeah.
artistry. And just
Wow.
that alone right there, you really,
And
really
thank you to your
impacted,
parents.
my life and everybody's life around me.
Thank you to you. Thank you to your family and everyone around you who was playing my music
Hmm.
to let you even hear it. Because that's a
Yes.
special thing.
Yeah.
And when the youth hears something, you know, I'm raising two little girls of my own, and you know, it's a
Hmm.
special thing, you know, knowing what the music that they gravitate towards. You know, like I put hers, I put H-E-H-R, you know, H-E-R, hers, you know, music on, you know, and it's amazing how naturally when you hear a voice like that and songwriting like that and the chords and everything, it's so inspiring. So it's got my 14-year-old. She's not 14 years. She's 13. Not 14. It's got my 13. Huh? Not 14 yet. She's 13, but she's playing the the guitar and the ukulele, and she's so inspired from her. You know, it's like that's that's that language, that musical language, and it's like when you hear a song like what's the song that I love so much? It's with Daniel Caesar. I don't know what the name of his album is offhand, but it's just a beautiful record, and it's her and the guitar, and
Yeah.
I just wanna see you. You know what I'm talking about. Uh,
Yes.
so I really love her, but at the same time, it's just so beautiful to watch my daughters like grow up with their musical tastes and see what they gravitate towards, and they're like me. They just like good music, man. So
Come
you know,
on. Yeah, you have to definitely let the kids know. Like I said, when it comes down to just real music, for me personally, it always starts from the past, and then you can go from the present. So
that's
that's just
right.
so dope for me, definitely for sure. So before we do get started on our interview, I wanted to ask you, since 2021 has been such a crazy year for all of us in 2020. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you so much. I wanted to ask you, since everything has changed for you, how have you been dealing with the pandemic since everything has been going on?
I mean, to tell you the God's honest truth, it's been the first time I've been able to slow down
Mm,
and sit down since I started in the music industry. Because
mm,
you gotta understand, like, just because you don't see an album out or whatever, that don't mean that a cat ain't working. You know, I'm out there like when the world was open, I was one of the hardest working guys in show business. I was always on a gig, and that's a beautiful thing. But it's one thing also to be forced to take a seat. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And and what that does is it's brought my family and I closer. It's allowed me to
Mm,
be able to finish my album, which I know y'all want me to finish this album. So it's like, being in the one place I'm supposed to be, you know what I mean? In terms of like that you would think I would want to be all the time, which is the studio. But it's
mm,
interesting because it's given new value to those walks I take by myself, under the bridge, you know what I mean? In the park by my house, and just it's like I'm thinking about life in general, like the world, this life that we live, all the beautiful luxuries that we've been so blessed to be able to have that are kind of on hold, you know what I mean, in a
Yeah.
weird way. But the one thing that I do still have is my family, and I walk in the door and they're there, and I know where they are and they're safe, you know what I mean, and and I'm putting food on the table still, and it's like it's just a blessing because I know there's so many that are going without, during this
Yeah.
time. There's a lot that it just their worlds have been turned upside down, and you just can't make light of that. In no way you can't make light that that's literally happening. I mean, in a much more crazier way than I think that than it ever has happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like it's not something to just like lightly kind of like talk about and not really feel like the intensity of it because it's real. But that's what I feel like has made my purpose mean so much more right now, because if I felt like I was doing something that was special before, in terms of like, okay, this is going to help somebody that needs to feel consult, like the song Lonely Girl, when we're talking about that, how that what that purpose that serves. Like, I mean, I can't even imagine what my music can do right now, in terms of like, I know I feel so good about this new music, but I know that it's so needed right now. You know what I mean? In terms
Yeah.
of, people just need to feel good. They need nice, pleasing, um, pleasurable frequencies to vibe to, man. No matter what kind of music it is. I mean, and sometimes you don't need no music at all. You just go take a walk, man. Go get some fresh air and go see some trees and look at some flowers, man, some palm trees or whatever you gotta do. Take a walk on the beach. But the important thing is that we don't need uh, all of the same hustle and bustle every single day. And oh my God, my life is not the same without it. No, we need to take a break. We all need to really go back and kiss our families, kiss our wives, kiss our husbands, kiss our moms, kiss our dads, kiss our babies, kiss our cousins, our sisters, our brothers, and really, really like understand, man. You know, it's not all promised, man. The world has already been
Yeah.
turned upside down. So like, let's really zero in on what we gotta do now and just do it, because we got the time now to do it. I don't care what it is you gotta do. Just do it. You know what you gotta do. So, because I'm speaking to a lot of people out there that are onto something, and during this time, I'm speaking to myself most importantly. I'm fighting with being done with it. I'm fighting with, like, it's not that I'm fighting. I'm more or less trying to finish, and
Yeah.
it's just about finishing what I set out to do. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to finish, and you guys are gonna have a new album soon. You know what I mean? And that's my contribution.
Mm,
But also, with that being the case, we talk about doing stuff right now. I'm also
yeah.
doing, since I can't be with you, in the physical, in terms of playing shows and being out there, and coming to you in whatever state you're in. I'm doing Vibes Cafe every month, which I'm filming from a really dope location in downtown LA. It's like a warehouse joint that's just like, we turned it into this. It's like a club inside. You know what I mean? We turned it into, it really is.
Which
It's
comes
like,
from your album. Which comes from your album, Vibes Elect. Mm-hmm.
it's a Vibes Cafe. Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. And that's always been something that I've kind of envisioned in my head. So getting to do it now with this quarantine it's man, it's amazing. It's like, it was more like the the brainchild, was there, the idea to do it, but we just never did it. And so this
Right.
quarantine has really given us, it's forced the issue. All right, now you got to be with me virtually, but it's inside the Vibes of that cafe, and I'm taking your requests. So it's like, get at me, let me know what you want to hear, and I'll play it. I'll try to put it into the next. You know what I mean?
Well, well, you know what
Smoking
I want
song.
to hear. I want to hear Lonely Girl. I want to hear Lonely
Got
Girl.
you. It's on the next one. It's on the
Oh,
next one. I guarantee that. I guarantee that it'll be on the next one.
aw.
I guarantee
Yes,
that.
I think that's just my. I think, in all honesty, that's one of my favorite cuts. But not even just alone. It's just the vibe of it is so great, and I'm happy you brought up Vibe Lex. When I was listening to the interlude about it, it's so funny, like looking back then from 2001, it was kind of like you were kind of like predicting like the vibes, which we call now the vibes. And looking back at it, I'm like, man, John B was kind of right. He was saying the vibes. We, when everybody talks about vibes now, like energy or just, having a vibe or having a moment. And when I
Yeah.
listen to this album, it does sound like a neo soul vibe and hip hop
Mm,
and R&B. But when
mm,
you listen to Vibe and Lex, it's just talking about a vibe and
yeah.
just be in the zone of energy of good music to
That's
me.
right.
So I just love it. So I love Bobby Lex. I have seen some of the performances and stuff, and I did see that you had did Calling on You, which was just so dope.
Yeah,
Love Calling on
yeah.
You.
I try to get, it's really forced me to kind of play some songs I never played too, which is
Yeah.
cool. It's like somebody wanted me to do Calling on You. I was like, okay, cool. But what I did do was show you how it connected to the Cameras joint that Drake did, and
You
I started
did.
I started off with Drake, you know what I mean, and then rewinds like that, what I mean? go into my original song, Calling on You. So,
Right, right. One of my favorites. That's actually my best friend Cece's favorite song. She every time when she came and visited me 2 years ago before the pandemic hit, every time John she would come around and every time I get in her car, she plays "Calling on You" everywhere we go. We can go to the club,
that's
she
dope.
plays it. We can
That's
go to
what's
the
up.
store, she plays it.
That's
So my
beautiful,
best friend Cece,
man.
she loves that
That's
song.
so dope,
So
man. I
shout
love
out
to
to
hear that.
Cece and shout out to
Shout
Cece
out to
because
CC.
ah, thank you.
Finally got you right here
You
tonight. I'll ease your mind. That's why I'm calling
didn't
on
on you.
you. Ooh.
Now you're gonna make all these people go crazy. You know that, John.
I
But
love that
thank you.
song too, man.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
And for
that's a
Drake
great
to
one.
sample it 10 years later after
Mm.
you dropped Pleasures You Like, that was just really dope. And not even just
That was
that,
heavy.
you very heavy. And not even that,
Yeah,
two more people sampled you. You had Audio Push featuring Wale. They sampled Inside. So
yeah,
that was
yeah.
dope. I
Yeah.
see, yeah, they did. They sampled the beginning of the song. They definitely did. They sampled that.
It's crazy. The
Yeah.
sampling thing is like Bree Steves, the artist Bree Steves. Um,
Yeah.
she sampled They Don't Know. I mean, Chris
Yep.
Brown sampled They Don't Know. I mean, it's been like a blessing because it's just like just being remembered in any way, but lumped in with like a group like SWV,
Yeah.
you know, any of my heroes, man, from that time. It's just such a man, it's such an honor, man. It really is. It's an honor. So yeah, any way you could be remembered is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And Donnell sampled Lonely Girl, Special
But
Girl. Yeah, he did. Uh-huh.
he
He
sampled
did.
Lonely Girl
Yes, he did. He called it Special Girl in 2006. Yes, he did.
in 2006. I never heard that record.
Uh-huh. I heard it.
Oh, you're schooling me. I didn't. How come we never talked about that, Don? That
You
was
be-
something that.
Oh, look.
I'm
But
I'm
he
not,
did. He
I'm
he
just saying.
sampled like I guess
You
the
know,
instrument, the vocal, the instrumentations of it. That's where it come from.
speaking of Donnell Jones, I don't know if a lot of people might not know, but I hope a lot of people know that Donnell Jones and I have a single that's new. It's called Understand. It's
Yes.
from the new album, and
Mhm.
it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to have a record with a legend like that. But at the same time, we both accomplished so much in our
Mhm.
careers, and to be able to like kind of big each other up in this way was a real
Yeah.
thing. It was a real humbling moment for me,
Yeah.
and at the same time, it really shows like the young guys coming up. Like this is how you need to be after you get your 25 years in the game. You know what I mean?
Come
Don't
on.
don't be afraid to give it up to another, legend and another king, you know what I mean, who's doing his thing, always has done his thing. So because we both represent the same thing, it's the love, man, you know what I mean? And it's a beautiful thing to multiply our energies together and make it on a record.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
when I started with Someone's in Love and Babyface. It's a continuation in 2021.
Yeah. 26 years later, you're still here, and I'm just so proud of you. Thank you so much from the
Thank
bottom
you,
of my heart.
sis. I appreciate you, sis.
Oh, anytime. I got you. Anything you don't want to be, I got you anytime. So now, since we kind of have talked about a lot of the stuff, with pleasure you like and everything else, I wanted to ask you, now, since you have been 26 years in the game, being doing Bonafide in '95, and then, Cool Relax next year makes 25 years, which I'm so excited about that. How was it now being in the spotlight of becoming an artist instead of being behind the scenes? Because I know you said back in '92, I think when you were in high school, I got your record deal. Tracy Edmonds, she discovered you, and
Hmm.
well, Tracy and Babyface, the way it kind of worked out around that time, because I
Right.
know something about you were shopping around your cassette tapes.
Yeah, yeah. I had made a bunch of cassette tapes with like I think it was like 12. It was like really two albums,
Mm-hmm.
but I had two cassette tapes with two albums. So I had like 40 songs, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was 10 songs on each side and I had two tapes to play people. So I had about 40 songs of material. And I walked in. Anybody who gave me enough time to play like you the second side of the first tape, I was like really doing it big, right? Because I usually got two or three songs in, and they were like, "Okay, this
Yeah.
is good. It's good. No, you're talented." And I was going all around to all the labels, but when I finally went into at the time it was called Yab Yum Entertainment,
Yeah.
um, and this was Babyface and Tracy Edmonds at the time. Uh, they were married and they had just started Yab Yum as a side sort of LaFace Records type of situation. It was going to be um, another record label, and they had Epic Records backing them. So it was legit, and I went in there and I was like, okay, I always wanted to work with Babyface, so this is like this is where I need to be. And they listened to my demo and they were excited about the production, and they were like, "Who did the production?" I said, "I did the production," and they were like, "Okay, that's really good. Well, who's singing the demo? Because we like him too." And I was like, "No, that's me." And they were like, "So what are you trying to do?" And I was like, "Well, I'm trying to be up in here with you, man, working with you." And just really, I'm trying to do whatever I can with my music. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not like I'm trying to be an artist necessarily because I know that during that time, it wasn't really no white artists in R&B. You had white artists that
Yeah.
kind of ghosted. They were like ghosts in the industry. You didn't know that they were white. That you were like it was like Bobby Caldwell, who was like a shadow figure on his covers.
Michael McDonald. Hmm.
You have Michael
Yeah.
McDonald that was more like of a pop uh, version of R&B, though I will kind of put him in the Kenny Loggins kind of category. He wasn't
Yeah.
R&B. He wasn't R&B. You know what I mean? He had a soulful voice, but I wouldn't categorize him as R&B. And then you had George Michaels, and George Michaels really wasn't R&B. He had a soulful voice, a soulful flow, but it wasn't
Hmm.
R&B. It wasn't like R&B like Babyface R&B. You know what I mean? And so nobody was really white at the time making that type of music. So I felt very much like I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not trying to be an artist. You know what I mean? Huh? Tina Marie. Have to
Yeah.
say Tina Marie. But she was the exception to the fact. Okay, because she was this curly haired white girl from Venice that was just like, I'm here. I'm what? Like I'm funky, I'm soulful, you can't tell me nothing. And so she's like the exception to the fact. But I don't think there was any male counterparts as far as uh you know what I mean, white dudes singing or whatever. So I had no
Yeah.
reason to feel. I mean, the closest thing I would say would be the group Color Me Bad at the time. They kind of what they had the lead singer Brian Abrams, and he was so soulful, and I loved his voice as well. When they came out with the "Sex You Up" record, that was like basically I was like, oh man, somebody beat me to the punch, man. But he was in a group, so it was like
Yeah.
it really didn't affect me from being a solo artist, but it let me know, okay, it can be done, and people want to hear that. So it's not like you don't have zero chances of getting this done, man. And so, but my ego was really hit pretty hard by a lot of the fellas in the music industry that were telling me, they
Hmm.
were kind of giving me that whole like, yeah, you're white. We don't need another Vanilla Ice. We don't need another, you know what I mean, Color Me Bad or you know whatever. It's just not, you know, it never works. It never works. You know, and it's just like, oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, yeah, but I'll use you as a producer. I'll use you as a producer. You know, but it's odd. It's ironic because look how God works. I'm sitting in the dude's office that told me this. This thing, you know, I don't know if it's gonna work, whatever. And then Babyface calls his office the day that I dropped off my tape to, you know, to his office. He calls the office of this guy and says, "Is John B in your office right now?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, why, man?" He's like, "Tell him to come to my office after he leaves your office." He's like, "I
Oh,
ain't gonna call my office and just, but you
because
are a
he's
babyface, so
babyface.
he's like, you are a babyface." But he's like, "Man, go ahead, get out of here. I know what you're gonna do now." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Man, are you kidding me?" And I just went like, you know, I was flying on my, you know, on my tails, like on the way over there to go meet him and stuff. So yeah.
That is just a beautiful story. I love how you really, and I shout out to Tracy Edmonds too. I definitely want to big her up because I feel like her and Babyface had this visionary of Yavium of what they wanted to do. And I
Yeah.
felt like, and I told my friend this, I've friends this, like shout out to my friend JR. I felt like you were like the pioneer of, you know, music for the 90s for all the next, you know, people that were coming your way. Like you had Justin and Robin, but I feel like you were the first. I've always said that you were the first,
It's
and
the
just
truth.
like you kind of set the standard for what R&B is if you're trying to get in coming from, you know, being white. But at the same time, it's just like it's not the point of I don't see color. I just see soul
Yeah.
music. You know,
Thank you so much for saying that. I mean,
anytime.
I've always my heroes are, you know, the baby faces, like I said, Prince, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, but the D'Angelos, the Maxwells, you know, the real R&B, the Eric Benets, you know, the guys that are doing it, the Donnell Joneses, the, you know, Carl Thomas, you know, I
Yeah.
mean, 112, New Edition, you know, Boys to Men, you know, R&B, you know, it's like if you got into rock music, you know all the rock bands. Well, if you're in the
Okay.
R&B, if you're in the R&B, you know all R&B. You know every, you know the small R&B groups that didn't really have the big giant
Yeah.
hits, but just were dope. You know what I mean? Because they
Yeah.
had a dope record. And so for me, I paid attention to it all, and I still do. So props to everybody out here who's just making this beautiful music, man, and just continue. Because I'm really inspired by a lot of the new music
Mm-hmm.
that's coming out, and I think most of the talking that I do in a lot of interviews, I think I get a lot of the, oh, music ain't the same as it was back in the 90s. Well, it's going to change over the time, but you have a lot of guys who are going back to what worked and what has
Yeah.
always worked, and they're doing it again right now. And it's lovely to see, like, you know,
Yeah.
a thing like, uh, what is it? The situation with Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the song, Sonic, Silk Sonic?
Oh,
Yeah.
Silk Sonic. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Leave the door open. Oh my God. Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's making it
Yes.
okay to make old fashioned R&B again, and I love that
Mm-hmm.
because it takes guts, style, and class, and just
Yeah.
a lot of heart to make that type of
Mm-hmm.
music and skill. You gotta you gotta be a badass
Yeah.
musician like both of them are. So you
Yeah.
know, but it's such a beautiful thing to see that kind of style of music return to
Yeah.
R&B. That's what we really need in the game again. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Definitely for sure. I know, shout out to my girl Tamara Savage, the songwriter. I remember she sent me a mix and she's trying to definitely for sure bring that R&B back
Wow.
in the forefront. But you know, she has a
That's all.
modern twist to it, which I love. And she knows you very, very
Yeah.
well. She told me to tell you hello. So shout out to Tamara
Wow. Yeah.
Savage.
We need to collaborate. Yeah.
Yes, yes, she is ready. She was like, "Look, if you ever talk to John, let him know I'm ready to get in the studio with him." I said, "That is fine. I
Oh,
will
that
let him know for sure."
that would be fire. That would be fire. Sure. Always want to. I always love collaborating, man.
Oh
Especially
yeah,
with the fire pinners, the people with the
pin
fire pen.
game.
You know what I mean? The pen game is real. I mean, and
What?
it's like it. You never stop learning in my field of being a songwriter. You know, you never stop
Yeah,
learning. There's always a different way to flip saying something. You know, you can flip it so many different ways.
yeah,
Um, and so yeah, and it never gets boring to me. I just have to really want to do it. You know what I mean? I have to really be in
Yep.
the mood to write. And I think when I get around other writers, instantaneously, I'm like, uh oh, I better bring my A game now. You know what I mean? Even if they do come with that fire pen, like I still want to be on the side, like you know what I mean, like throwing my ideas too. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing,
Yeah.
man. And
Yeah.
big shout out to her and all the writers out
Yes.
there for that thing, man.
Yes. Shout out to all the songwriters, which is so dope. So now we're in a transition, and I just love the story of how you just got your deal and everything that Babyface did for you and Tracy Edmonds. So now we're talking about Bonafide and Cool Relax, and now we get on the 20th anniversary of Pleasures You Like. Pleasures You Like.
Yeah, man. Pleasures You Like.
So
Wow.
exciting.
Pleasures You Like as a song is kind of, let's talk about that a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
the reason why I named the album Pleasures You Like is because the song is so special. I mean, in terms of the style of the record. We're
Mm-hmm.
talking about old R&B groups. When I think about like what it was to grow up to albums like Mary J. Blige, My Life, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, John, you cut out. You cut out.
There we are.
Can you hear me? Okay. Okay.
You there?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
You good. You good
I
now. You
just
good.
plug my phone in real quick. Sorry
Okay.
about that.
You're
Yeah.
all right. Look, cuz I have technical difficulties too. You good.
But yeah, but talking about R&B, like like I don't know what year that was, but
Cut off. He should be coming back, y'all. He should be coming back, y'all. Just give us some time. It's the loading. Okay, let me see. I don't know if I have to end it or. Oh yeah. Somebody said they blowing up his phone. Okay, let's see, because he did kind of. Oh man. Uh-oh. I don't know. Okay. He'll probably just come and join back, y'all. I am wow. Well, he's dropping so many gems. I'm excited, man. So dope, so dope, so dope. Let's see if he's gonna jump back in. Let's see. Okay, let's see, y'all. Here. Y'all wait for life. I'm so done with y'all. Oh Lord. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, I sent him a request. We'll see if he's gonna jump back in. Oh, thank y'all. Okay,
sorry
there it
about
is.
that.
Oh no, you
Sorry
okay?
about
You okay? We was thinking that you had a lot of calls, so we didn't want to interrupt at all.
Not at all, not at all. It was all good. My bad, a little technical difficulty.
Okay.
We were talking about pleasures you like.
No, you
I
good.
mean,
You good.
we was talking
Yes, we
about
were. We
pleasures
were
you
talking
like.
about the process. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that album was like I want to say a lot of hip hop influence on this album, but it had its real sweet
Mm-hmm.
moments. It had its definitely its R&B moments. I don't want to take away from how R&B of an album this was. I love I loved everything that Mary J. Blige brought, like the jazziness that she brought to R&B with albums like My Life, um, and it introduced me to a different sound, and so there's a little bit of that jazzy influence that I got from that 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 time period on Mary stuff that
Mm-hmm.
you'll hear on songs like Pleasures You Like. It's interesting. Like I don't know how to really describe it, but um, some of the work that I do on my chord progressions, like in the background, is real, like based off like a lot of the loops and things I was hearing from like cats like Jay Dilla and Pete Rock and stuff like that. In a sense of like when I was back east and hearing all the music that I was hearing in different studios and just being in different cars and with people, different producers and whatnot, and you're paying attention to everything that's happening, and so it's like groups like the Roots, um, making really jazzy, sort of like hip hop that had this real kind of vibe to it, and all that kind of, I mean, Erica Badu, all that influenced me. So I think you'll hear it on a record like Pleasures You Like, because it's got that whole little kind of little mystical background to it with the music. But I grew up off of groups like Intro as well, like, and you know what I mean? So like melodically, there's a little bit of the Kenny Green influence on that vocally. Like I can tell you, yeah, oh yeah. That's like that's Kenny Green all day, man. When I think about intro,
Oh, be
let
the
me
one,
be
be the
the one.
one.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
real like that's that East Coast R&B that was so hot,
yeah.
and I paid attention to that real hard. And it ended up being that Kenny worked a lot with Mary J. Blige on those very songs that we
He
we all
did.
love and stuff. So yeah, she was kind of like influenced by him, I think, vocally, and like some of the licks and things that he did melodically. So I ended up being influenced by it because it's just like it just stuck. It was like some of his ideas were so it made me think in a jazzy way. You know what I mean? You'll hear it on Pleasures You Like. But another great song off Pleasures You Like is Boys Is Not a Man.
Joshua Thomas shouted you out today.
Joshua Thomas, which is, we got to big up Joshua Thomas and give him his flowers.
Thompson, yeah.
Thompson, sorry.
No, you
Thompson,
get, you get.
exactly. Yes, Joshua Thompson.
He definitely bigged you up today.
Well, I'm bigging him up. Big up, you,
Oh,
Thompson. You are a very, very talented individual, man. It was an absolute pleasure working with you. He's behind, a lot of Joe songs that you know and love.
yes.
And the style of working with him was very much the next best thing to, I think, working with Joe himself in terms of just having a one-on-one with Joe. I was kind of working with a lot of the nuances that Joe was working with. So, like the mixing engineer that Joe
Yeah.
uses, stuff like that. But it was interesting because Joshua let me do my thing with the programming and some of the chord progression, the chord progression. We worked it out together. But
Right.
what's so amazing is that Josh is just such a phenomenal musician
He
that he
is.
challenged me to my absolute core. I mean, like if I wasn't used to playing a certain chord or something, he would be like, "Yeah, play that chord right there," and I'd be like, I can't make my fingers do that." He's like, "Well, play that one." I'm like, "All right, and that's what Boy Is Not a Man is me just doing things that I don't ever do, like
Yeah.
playing chords that were so beautiful." And he was really helping me sound a lot of those chords out. So we were doing it, he's on the nylon guitar and he's playing the chords and he's like, "What about this one?" I'm like, "Oh, let me find that," and I'm finding it on the keyboard. It's not something I always play. So it's like, I'm sitting here going, "Wow, that's beautiful."
Yeah.
That's one of those records I just still, when I hear it, it's so beautifully designed in terms of like a classy nylon string, just Rhodes and drums. But it's got the stacks. We talk about stack vocals. This is one that's got the stacks. And that's celebrating Joe and how beautiful of an artist, amazing of an artist and sound of an artist that Joe is, you know what I mean?
Right.
In terms of what he's brought to R&B too, his way of stacking, his sensibility. And Joe came through the session actually when I was recording and made sure to give me his nod of approval as I was working. It was really cool to be in my mode of doing like the ad libs and kind of finishing it off. And he walks
Yeah.
in and I'm like, "Oh snap, this is wild." It was cool because I'm a huge fan of R&B, man. I love
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah.
I got to get my Joe record. We got to get a collaboration, man.
Come
So I'm
on, we need that. I'm ready for
putting that
that.
out there in the universe. I need a
Yes.
Joe. We need a John B. Joe collaboration.
Definitely for
Sure, I'm
sure.
putting that.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And I want to let you know, John, so many people, I've seen so many articles of Pleasure. Like, people have really, really taken this album and made it like their own, but talk about everything. And shout out to Beatopolis. They did an article about the Pleasure You Like in May 2020, and they talked about it, how beautiful it was. and it was so it was so amazing. The ending of it, which I really love the most, is they call this album the smooth sophistication of R&B, and this is what
Wow.
this album means to me. It definitely does mean smooth sophistication of R&B, because the way it breaks down, people call it like a hidden gem, but it's not a hidden gem. It's a timeless gem. And I feel that it's been 20 years later that, you know, people have taken this album and talked about it in 2020. You had, shout out to Edward Bowser, who does You Know I Got Soul, my friends from that show. He did an article
Edward,
last year. Yes, he did
Tom,
a
all y'all at Tom,
yes.
all y'all at You Know I Got Soul. Thank you so
So
much.
sweet, so
Big
sweet.
shout, big shout, big up, big up.
Yes, Edward Bowser. He did an article about you in December of 2020, and he did your top 6 albums of all time. He ranked Pleasure You Like number 2. He ranked it number 2.
Wow,
Yes, he did.
that's
And
heavy.
what I loved about it, it was a comment that one of the people made, and I want to read this comment. I want to read this verbatim because I think this is beautiful. This person put in the comments last year in December. They said, "Pleasure You Like is a rare modern R&B album that is without filler and for a 20 track. Almost
Wow,
80 minutes opus that is unparalleled." So how do you feel that if a lot of fans talk about this album being so unparalleled to all
man,
your work, but not even just that,
wow.
this album has been so successful,
Thank you
being
for
number 3, being
thank you
number
for
6 on the
saying that.
chart? Oh yes,
I
you know,
mean,
people love
I
you.
don't. Oh man, it's such a blessing. It's such a
Yeah,
pleasure, and it's so fulfilling as a songwriter and as a real crafter of these albums. You know what I
yeah,
mean? From the from the drums and the rhythm,
yeah,
to the chords, to the bass line, to all the lyrics and the the background vocals. It's like they really are my babies. These songs,
yeah,
uh, and then just singing on top is sort of like the celebration of already what was so fun to do, which was make the track.
yeah.
So getting to celebrate with like Nas, or getting to celebrate with Faith Evans,
Mhm.
or celebrate with Cuban Link, or
Yeah,
AZ, or
Az.
I mean, golly,
Faith
it
Evans.
just yeah, I mean it was
Hmm.
heavy, man. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, everybody's in on this with me. We're all celebrating this
Hmm.
opportunity of making this album again, because every album is an opportunity. Every album
Hmm.
is a chance to show your best work. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
yeah, so I wanted to make this one, like, I was going all out. I was like, no shorts at all. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I cut like a whole nother album that y'all haven't even heard. That it's like,
What?
yeah, that was like all the like songs that could have gone on there that I got later.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, a lot of material went into making that album.
Yeah.
And I tried to put it out, over the years. In terms of someone played it actually earlier today. Like, there were songs that didn't actually make it on the solid
Hmm.
album of Pleasures You Like that ended up
Yeah.
coming out anyway. I put them out as extensions of the album, like they would be on the B side or something, or
Hmm.
you know what I mean. I had a special edition of the album that had 4 extra songs and things like that. So, but yeah, I mean, I ended up probably, every album I'll record at least 2 or 3 albums worth of material
Yeah.
and pick those last 12, 13 records.
Yeah. And like you said, with calling on you, I wanted to let you know too. I was reading 2 articles actually. It was in a Cleveland article. They were talking about Drake best samples of his catalog, and you were on that list. It was
Oh
so
wow,
dope.
that's
It was
crazy.
yes, you were
That's
ranked
heavy.
out of 25 of his best samples, you were ranked number 4.
What?
Yes.
Oh,
Not even
oh
just that,
man.
it was another article. Shout out to DJ Booth in 2018. It was a top 10 article of Drake's best samples. You were ranked number 3. So how do you
Wow.
feel that calling on you has really, for a lot of these bloggers, have made calling on you the sample to a
Oh,
staple of when it comes to hip hop and R&B? You really have. I mean, you were ranked number 4 and ranked number
that just
3.
makes me feel so good because the track, I did that track, I
Yeah,
made that track, produced that song all myself.
yeah,
And it was the kind of thing where I was listening to a lot of. I always love giving it up to where where they deserve to get their props. So I
yeah.
gotta mention the influence on Calling on You. See, I'm a big Jodeci fan. You know what I mean?
Oh, look.
Which, come on, already. I mean, and so like, and so going back to like Devontae Swing, you know what I mean? Devontae
Yeah,
and his production, and like, and how that kind of led the way for Timbaland, guys like Timbaland that kind of get their sound going as well. and they kind of started together, you know. So, well, he started Timberland off. So, but the whole thing was with Devontae was I paid attention to Devontae.
Yeah.
I was really paying attention to the sound selection. You know, when you hear a song like "Calling on You," that's my ode to the influence of Devontae and Jodeci as a whole because I stacked my vocals. You know, I got to work with Casey and JoJo and Devontae in the
Yeah.
studio, and you know, to get them to vouch for me in terms of like, all right, yeah, I'll put my voice on that joint, you know, or you know, in the case of like Devontae, I let him hear it calling on you, and he was like, man, that's fire, you know, and that was like the ultimate. That was starting with Devontae, where I got
Mhm.
the influence from, right? It's like to have the guy that you sort of were inspired to even make the joint. You wouldn't even have made the joint if it
Mhm.
wasn't for him. So to have him kind of vouch for it and say it was dope was the first beginning of me feeling like, you know, just special about that song. But then
Right.
when Drake sampled it and he sent me the
Yeah.
idea, and I was like, wait, this was at a time where Drake is like the biggest rapper in the world. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So for him to big me up in the sense of rap, you know, sampling my record and rapping on it, it really validated me at that moment in time. I was really feeling like, okay, somebody sees it,
Mhm.
and they're bigging me up. And you know, he could have done it in a way where you could have not recognized my voice. They could have sped
Yeah.
my voice up and done something to it to where they changed it up. They didn't change it up. They kept that hook the
Nope.
same, and you still hear my ad libs in the back.
Mhm.
It's crazy. I was always like excited when I heard that record. You know, it's still in. That's why I gotta put it in the you know in the vibes in the cafe and do it.
Definitely,
You know,
you have to.
every so often I gotta bring that one out. You know what I mean? That's a secret
Yeah.
weapon.
And I just love how you deal with that. Like I said, for that to be ranked number three
It's
for his
crazy.
best samples of all time is amazing to me because that just go to show you that your stamp is solidified not only in R&B but in hip hop. And just even with that, even though it wasn't released, you released "Don't Talk" off the album, and I feel like it's a bop. Just like "Soft and Sweet," I feel like those two songs alone, like you get a two-step going on, and listening
Hey,
to "Don't Talk" and "Soft and Sweet," it has that
yeah.
vibe.
See, because that's the thing is spending some time in Chicago, like in Chicago, being in Chicago and in Detroit,
Hmm.
and going to the two-step clubs, like where the older folks were going, and you know, I was like, "Where's the classy? Where are they going? Like, where are the guys with the fedoras and the ladies? You know what I mean? And if you got gators on, where are you going with those gators?
Right.
Like, where are you hanging out? You know, like literally, where are the old classy old players hanging out? You know, because I wanted to see what it was, and Chicago nightlife is like no other, man, and
Yeah.
Detroit nightlife is like no other. Um, both different, but both very much the same. When you step into a steppers club,
Hmm.
you better know how to step or don't step on the dance floor because you can get in the way.
And we do that in Louisiana, so we trust. If you don't know how to two step,
and,
you better.
and then I figured that part out
Mm-mm.
that they do that all over, right? So it was like,
Hmm.
yeah, but the thing about it is that we didn't have clubs like that on the West Coast.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was something special, and it this is before you know there were records like "Step in the Name of Love." You know, this
Hmm.
is before there were records that were sort of like commercially in that four on the floor element. You know what I mean? It wasn't a popular style to make a record that was boom, 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 you know, like that. So I really had no reference points to go for soft and sweet
Yeah.
other than I just wanted to make a cool little roller skate. No, that's what it was. It was roller skating. It was roller skating that was really the influence. But it was also the two step clubs and going in and seeing them kind of like two step and hearing the music like and the way the music sounded because the music was very much like flutes and different beautiful like
Hmm.
orchestral like arrangements behind this like and then people would just start moving. I'm like, what is this? So I took some of that back with me, man, and made a joint, soft and sweet. Big up my man
Yeah.
Tommy Brown, who you know from
Oh.
Pasadena, from Altadena here, you know where I'm from, and he's a high school homie of mine, man. Who's just been like a you know like real cool over the years. We've kept in touch. So big up Tommy
Yeah.
Brown. He helped me with that track, co-produced that track with me. So
That's
yeah,
so dope. That's so dope, and I'm proud of you. So proud of this album, and I know it was really one of like your biggest, highest charts from your catalog. I know this album reached number 6 on the Billboard 200 and number 3 on the Billboard R&B charts, and I think that's just so dope because even your first 2 albums are a classic. This also adds in with the classic because for people to be so gravitated about this album is just so amazing. So, how did you feel when it became so successful? And did it go gold or go platinum? Did it go gold?
It went platinum. It went
So
platinum.
did it
Yeah,
go platinum? Okay, did it go
this went,
platinum?
yeah, certified platinum for sure. And the thing is, and it's over the years, I'm sure it's sold a lot of records. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like certified platinum, that one definitely did. And it actually was double platinum, as far as I know.
Ooh.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, that's and the reason why I say that is because it was a beautiful celebrating time to put Don't Talk out. I had
Yeah.
worked with all the artists that I wanted to work with. Tim and Bob came down for the video for Don't Talk. RL showed love because I told RL, I said, man, you talk about gotta give it where you get it from, in terms of influence. I was a big Next fan, and I was loving what Next was doing with like records like Too Close
Mm-hmm.
if it wasn't for that, them bringing that kind of two-step vibe too, 112 with Only You, and records like that, that inspired me to make Don't Talk.
Mm-hmm.
That one two-step feel. Yeah,
Right.
but yeah, that was a celebration record. I remember
Mm-hmm.
coming home one night after a party or something or a club night and making that record like in 20 minutes. Just boom,
What?
bit, 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 and just the chords on top and don't talk, baby, just move with me. And just it's real easy. It was a real easy record, and it was a feel good record. I didn't know that it was gonna be a hit at the time, but it capped off. It was the last thing I did for Pleasures You Like, and they were
Wow.
like, "We need a single from the album. We don't want to lead with any of the songs so far. So what do we lead with?" And I was also a really big fan of the song "What I Like About You." Um,
Mm.
is that on this? Was that no no no? Oh, that's stronger. Is that stronger? That's on
Stronger
this
every
album.
day.
Yeah, I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I only got one Babyface song on this album, which was Lonely Girl.
Lonely girl. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting. There was only one Babyface song on this album, which is
Which is my favorite.
it's my favorite. Out of all the
My
songs that
favorite.
Kenny and I did, Lonely Girl is my favorite for sure.
Yeah, it's my favorite. I love it. I just love the instrumentation. I love the pleading, but
You know, Speaking of the instrumentation, that song has horns in it. It's got like
Mm.
French horns and it's got trumpets and stuff. And I always loved like Quincy Jones and the instrumentation that R&B has. All the Motown. It's all had symphonic elements to it. So it's like really wanted to bring some of that back with that song. And so I kind of like got this sense of consolement. Like when little rolls that you hear in there. It's like it's gonna be all right, baby.
Yeah.
It's
And
okay. It's kind of like rolling your eyes. Like, it's all right, whatever. Forget
yeah,
about him. Forget about him. Come home to me.
that's
You know what I
it.
mean?
That's
Come
it.
home to this good feeling right now.
And shout out to my friend JR. He actually pointed that out when we talked about the interview. He was saying that he was intrigued by the horn. Shout out to R&B representatives. They always talk
Yeah.
about the instrumentation of the importance of music because I feel like, without songwriters, producers, and musicians, y'all really are the backbone behind artists. And that's
Yeah.
why I really had to understand for myself. It's not always the people who sing. Sometimes it's the people behind the mic, and who really made me understand that is Gordon Chambers. Gordon Chambers, I love him so much. He was actually my first interview ever I done, and he really made me understand that it's always the people that
Yeah.
really, really make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And I know even John, even though you're a singer, you do so much multi-talented. I feel like you're a quadruple threat. So like every time I know about yourself in the line, I know I'm like, this man has done everything. So for me to you, I'm just so proud of you, and you're just
Thank
so
you.
dope. And I just thank you so much from the bottom of my
No,
heart.
no. Thank you so much. You filled me up with
Oh,
so much light right now, and thank you.
anytime.
It really is special to hear it because
Yeah.
it's one of those things that when you know that someone's paid attention to what you're really trying to do, which is make music, you know. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people get lost in the sauce, man. They get lost in all the extra stuff, like the the videos and the, you know, the performances and all that. And they
Mm-hmm.
forget it all started with these songs and the recording of these songs and the writing of these songs. So yeah, if you could start there with me, and we can start on that level, that's a whole nother page to kind of like have an appreciation and a connection with somebody. Because
Yeah.
then the rest is celebration. Then when we turn up at the show,
Mm-hmm.
it's all, you know, already. So it's like, you know, that's the thing. It's like to be able to take it there with people and continue to have that relationship with people. But to open up my, you know, my doors in terms of like, you know, if you have a question for me, if you wanted to, I just love the fact that you shouted me out like this today and we celebrating
What?
together. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
you
come on,
inspired me
man.
at 7 years old. I mean, what is a 7 year old looking at music videos
You know,
for? And I'm sitting up there looking at the box and
I
watching
got a
They Don't Know
7 year
Her.
old. I got a
Right,
seven
look,
year
and you
old.
have
So
a
look,
daughter, and I know she know
yeah,
music.
that's what I'm saying.
So,
I pay attention to
yeah,
everything that she listens to.
yeah,
So it makes me feel good that your parents, you know, the people that you had around you played my music for
they
you at
did.
7, you know, and it's thank you, you know, because
Oh.
you know, that's why we're talking right now. So
Definitely. I wanted to
good,
ask you
good.
another, definitely anytime, but I wanted to ask you because your pen game is so immaculate, and we've been talking about songwriting and everything, but I want to talk about your songwriting and your pen game because you wrote so many hits, and I realized that you were in the Late of the Night, the one you did on Tony Braxton's album Secrets that makes 25 years this year, which I like and I love.
I
After
love that
seven,
song.
me too. After seven, you definitely have wrote for them on Reflections and everything else. I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you what does it mean to make a hit, and what is your favorite hit from your catalog?
Ooh, like if I have to pick one record, I think I think
Mm-hmm.
really they don't know it really is the record that I penned, you know, that is sort of like I was really trying to make a point at that point. I was really trying to prove myself
Yeah.
to everyone that I am a force to be reckoned with, you know, as a writer. Even if someone else does the track,
Come
I'm
on.
gonna still bring this fire pen. And because that song is very articulated well, you know, in terms of what I was
Come on.
trying to say.
Okay.
I, I was trying to speak about I was trying to speak about hearsay in relationships and how you can't listen
Mm-hmm.
to, you know, people talking on the side or whatever. If you're going to be in a relationship, that's the moral
Yeah.
to the story. But the way that I did it, in terms of like being able to have Tim and Bob on the side to really cheer me on and say, "Oh, what about?" And I can't come up with nothing for this part. What do I say right here? And they go, "Oh, I got the perfect thing. You're my angel," and I'm like, woo! I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that's staying right there. And
Yeah.
everything I'm doing is like very, very almost like a. It's almost like I'm talking to you. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's
Yep.
almost like if I was talking to you right now, and I was just like, you know, heard about my past, things I used to do,
Yeah.
games I used to play. You know, it's like it's very, very relatable in the sense of like I didn't really realize that I was gonna be a voice for so many other
Mm-hmm.
people who couldn't really express that statement in the sense of like telling the person that they're with,
Yeah.
like reassuring them in a sense it's gonna be all right. Like I got you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm not listening to nobody but you, and this is about us.
Yep.
And
And
they don't know. You know what I mean? And it's like it ended up being kind of like an anthem for me, to where it's like if I don't play that song at every show,
mm-hmm.
it's gonna get they're
It's
gonna
be a
come up to
problem.
me. They're gonna
It's gonna
come
be a
up to me and
problem.
be like, I want my money back.
Because that's everything. I mean, I had you were talking about Chris Brown and God rest her soul, Aaliyah from They Don't Know. My sorority sisters, I'm an AKA, they actually strolled to They Don't Know. So just imagine your
Oh
song
man,
and sorority life and my sorority
yo,
life
I
have
seen it.
really.
What's I'm sorry, I just gotta say
No,
you
go
said
ahead.
sorority and it triggered my thought. I've seen a Atlanta marching band, yo.
Uh huh.
It was Atlanta marching band. It was in Atlanta, or was it was South? It was Southern. It was Southern. It was Louisiana. Oh my God, yo, they did. They don't know. If you haven't seen that, you need to
Uh
check
huh. I
that out
did.
on YouTube. Southern's
And
version of They Don't Know. I was like, come on, like if you're gonna be bigged up by a marching band,
well, John, that's funny you said that. That's
that's
where
as
my sorority
official as it
sisters.
gets.
Well, John, that's funny you said that. That's where my sorority sisters had strolled to the song "They Don't Know" for Chris Brown at Southern University. So all of it ties together.
Big up Louisiana all
Woo,
around, man. You
woo.
know what I'm
That's where I'm
saying?
from.
Come on, man. The entire South. I've been up and
Yeah.
down, and for many years we've been doing our thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like it's just one of those relationships that it's just so wonderful to go into those parts of the country that
Yeah.
it's only one Louisiana. Ain't no other place on this earth that's like
Yep.
Louisiana.
That's where I'm from. Shout out
and
to
and
Big Up
some of
to
the
Louisiana.
and some of the best food you ever had in your life will change your life. So
Exactly.
yeah,
You know,
from,
exactly. I wanted
from
to
New
ask you something
Orleans to
to Baton
all
Rouge.
the way to Baton Rouge to Lafayette. You know what I mean?
You
Yeah,
see, that's why you're an honorary brother from Louisiana. So I name you honorary. Yes.
yeah, man. Been all around them parts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had like two more questions to ask you. So I want to ask you, can you tell us a song, a project that you've done and someone else got credit for and not you? And shout out to my girl Tamara Savage and LaShawn for this one because this is kind of interesting. I want to have you ever had that.
Ooh, that's political.
Oh,
That's
it is. Dang
that's
it. Well,
well, I don't want to throw no shade. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we don't do
so
the shade
yeah,
on here.
yeah. We'll just you know what? Well, what I will say this,
Mm-hmm.
because it's already been talked about. I talked about this. One of my biggest checks that I get for royalties is from the Spice Girls, and I
Say
didn't
you'll be
actually
there.
say you'll be there.
Uh huh.
I didn't write "Say You'll Be There" in the studio with them, but I wrote the song "What You Are to Me" for After Seven, which was on Virgin Records. And Virgin Records is the same label to put out Spice Girls. And
Wow.
when I called them out on the melody being the same in their song, baby, everything,
And joy can bring this, I swear.
right? Well, after Seven's song, the song I wrote went,
Yeah.
"What you are to me, no one else can
Mm-hmm.
be." Ooh, it's exactly the same thing. So I said, "What's up with that? Can the brother get a
Yeah.
little
Get a coin. Get a coin for your
get a
money.
slice of that?" You know what I mean? And so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it broke me off equally as an equal share of that shareholder on that song,
That's
and
dope.
it was a beautiful thing. I didn't expect to get that check. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's
But at
that's
the end of the
that's
day,
worth talking about.
rightfully so. At the end of the day, you deserve that because at the end of the day, anything you have put your pen to or your voice, you get your check.
I mean, hey,
Get your money.
yeah, I mean, hey, I had to pay for my samples. I know that.
Come
I had
on.
to clear my samples. I don't have too many of them, but the ones that I do have, I made sure to go ahead and clear. So
Exactly.
you could feel good
Exactly for
about
sure.
everybody that you got the music. The inspiration for the music from. All that.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. Exactly. If you had to tell Trey, I would have another question. If you had to tell Tracy Edmond and Babyface any words for what they did for your career, what would you tell them?
I would just say thank you. From the bottom of my heart. I've told them both many times, but I'll say right now, thank you. Um, Thank you from the
Um,
bottom of my heart for everything that you've done, the door that you opened for me as an artist, as a songwriter, as a producer, as a performer. Uh, it wouldn't be
um,
it wouldn't have happened the same way. I know that, or who
yeah.
knows if it happened at all. Because I
Right.
know there's so many millions and gazillions of uber talented people
Yeah.
that don't get noticed and that fall by the wayside or just end up being, you know, that lost amazing talent that just is like they might not even play in a club, they just play at home, but nobody knows how bad they are and they're amazing. You know what I mean? And everybody knows somebody like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so imagine, to be one person who was singled out by the likes of Babyface and Tracy. Yeah, it was an
Yeah.
absolute. There's no doubt there was less than a miracle. So yeah, but miracles do happen. But
Yeah.
I will tell you, if you're not out there going and getting it, it's not going to just come to you and knock on your door. It's a
Yeah.
miracle waiting around the corner for us
Mm-hmm.
all. But we have to figure what it is we want and then go get it. And it's already yours. Trust me. I don't care
Yep.
what it is. It's
That's
yours.
right.
You just have to find it literally, and so you see it. Just like there's literal seeds Just like there's seeds in the ground right now that are growing,
Mhm.
that one day will be trees that will, be
Mhm.
breathing out air for us all to breathe. Like they're in the ground right now,
Right.
and we don't even see them,
Right.
but they will be here. So like when
Yeah.
it's harvest time, man. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
get ready.
Hold on. It probably. Hold on. It froze. Okay, it's loading. He should be. John, you kind of broke up on me.
There, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It should be coming back. Okay.
We're back now.
A little bit, and then it's freezing again. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I can hear the noise. I can hear the. Okay.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right.
Yeah, definitely for sure. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I wanted to ask you another question. If you had to describe one word about pleasures you like, what would you describe the word? One word.
Hmm. Uh,
I have one.
okay. Yeah. What would you? What I was just gonna say. What were you gonna say? Let me see
I
how
was gonna
close.
call it. I was gonna call it a gym. A gym.
Wow.
A
Wow.
gym.
Thank you.
A
Thank you
gym.
so much. That's
It means
huge.
a lot.
I'll go with that. You know what I mean? Because I think what I was gonna say was gonna be like a little bit too deep. You know what
but,
I mean?
but that's what you are. That's what songwriters are. Y'all are deep
I, I'm.
thinkers.
I would say that album was very. That album was very. I don't know. It just feels like luxury to me.
Hmm.
It feels like luxury to me. Pleasures you like is all about like I'm about to give you all the pleasures that you like in your life. I'm gonna show you all the pleasures that you like. Like it's been a long time since you felt like this, so
Oh
you
yeah.
know, let me go ahead and put the extra on you. You know what I mean? With
Hmm.
all however you can shower somebody with appreciation and with inspiration. That's
Yeah.
how I wanted to shower you on this album with, So it's pleasures you like because it's all the things that I would think you would appreciate. You know what I mean?
Right.
All, yeah, all the ways of thinking that you would
Yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah.
But it's all celebrating you. You know what I mean? And how wonderful you ladies are for us in our lives. You know what I mean? And
You broke
everyone
up.
from my mother.
He broke up on me, y'all.
So big up all the
It broke up a little
ladies.
bit.
So I'm basically what I'm trying to say is gonna break up on the real good part, right? You know, because
Right. He breaks up on a real good point when we about to.
when I'm right about to drop the just the truth on you, the truth
Right. The
is,
gems. We need the gems.
well, the truth is that y'all are the inspiration, man. Consider yourself,
Hmm.
you are the special seasoning that makes these songs taste and feel the way they do because it's all about you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just like it's a compliment for you, it's a compliment
Hmm.
for you, and just celebrate that. I think that's what, there's one thing I want you to do when you listen to pleasures you like,
Hmm.
think, dang, that's how good I make him feel. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Because that's
Yeah.
what it's really about.
Definitely. I'm definitely 100% proud of you. And I know Sally about to end our interview. I had so much fun with you and I'm just so blessed and honored to have you on my show. And just definitely just to
Blessed
honor
to
you
be.
and give you your roses on a 26 beautiful career. So proud of you and so excited about everything you're doing. Do you have any last words and any upcoming projects? As now you told us about the album. Do you have anything
Yeah.
else you want to share about us on the live?
Well, catch me Vibes Elect Cafe, baby. If
Is
you
it
haven't
tonight?
already done so, definitely let me know what y'all want to hear.
Is it tonight?
It's April. I'm gonna be back in April. We don't have the date yet, but it's April
Okay,
is
okay,
coming.
April. Okay.
All right. So yeah, catch me at the Bob's Leg
Okay.
Cafe.
April coming.
New album coming soon. Don't have a date for that, but I'm trying to work on the last mixes right now for this album. And I'm excited. That's all I can say. It's gonna be another one. It's gonna be another great one. Hopefully a gem.
Oh, thank you. Yes, we need some
Definitely.
more gems. We need some more real R&B gems, and I'm just so proud of you, John. And thank you so much for just coming on my platform. And I want to definitely, from me to you, thank you so much. You are like the first artist for me on my platform. You have reposted me, tweeted me. I'm really, really so blessed and thankful that you did that, because you didn't have to do that. And like I said, that just go to show you that you are just a legend I will forever honor on my platform.
Thank
Support
you.
you in everything you do, because for you, you didn't have to do that for me. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing that and just honoring your classic third album, Pleasures You Like. So proud of you, and thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, y'all. And please make sure that you do support John B and everything he does, and all excuse me, I'll make sure y'all stream all his albums and everything else. And I've been listening to Pleasure You Like for the past 2 weeks, so I've been a little bit
So,
obsessed with it. Sorry.
yeah, man.
but
Thank you
but
again. It's
I
so
love you
humbling.
so much.
I
Yes,
love
yes,
you. I love you, and everyone who's tuning in right now. I love you.
yes,
Thank you so much,
yes.
you guys, man. All the hearts and everybody who commented, everybody who's saying, taking
Mhm.
your time out right now to send me some shouts right now. Big
Yeah,
up to you, my love to you,
thank
all
you.
health and safety to you, and just hold on to the people that you love right now. Kiss somebody on the cheek,
Thank
you
you.
know what I mean? And they deserve it, and hug them and tell them you love them. And this life is beautiful, man. Go listen to some
Yeah,
good music. Go listen to
yeah.
some good music. I don't care what it is, man. It don't gotta be my music. Go listen to something that makes you feel good right now,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just know
definitely.
we're here, so we gotta celebrate life. You know what I mean? So
Definitely. And
yeah,
tell your wife thank you so much, because she's the one that really hooked us up. So like I said, I want to thank
absolutely.
Mrs. Buck, Mrs. Danette. If
Yes.
you hear this,
Yeah.
thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Because like I said, I mean, hey, the women are the driving force to everything. And so
Yeah.
I pretty much thank you so much, and thank you for, just sharing your platform and just celebrating Pleasures You Like. And I'm gonna have to listen to that the live performance. You have that, because I like the live performance of Calling on You. That's my jam.
You know what? That's yes. Go. And I want to let everybody know they can
Hmm.
check Vibes Select Cafe out on Tixar.com. That's
Okay.
TIFR.com.
Start.
And
Okay.
Tixar.com is John B. Vibes Select Cafe. All right. So definitely tune in April, baby. And
Yes.
I'm working on like cooking shows, and
What? You
I'm
cook?
yeah, I cook, but this isn't gonna be based around me cooking. It's about basically the artist and how artists get down in the studio and how that
Right.
collaborates with eating and how we eat. And
That's dope.
if you do get it in the kitchen, like how do you, or you grill or whatever it is you do, however you
Hmm.
eat, what's your process, and how does it relate to food and things like that. So yeah,
Right.
this
Right.
is what's coming for the future, man. We don't know what
Well, I
network
got
is
you. Like I
coming,
said, anything you
but
got,
we
I'm
trying
here
to get
for you. So
going.
thank you so much, y'all. And thank you so much, y'all,